Attention passionate Cleveland Browns fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Cleveland Browns fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, a team that has been steadily building momentum over the past couple of seasons, especially with their recent drafts and coaching strategies. But as with any competitive NFL team, depth is everything, especially in the secondary. Browns, like many teams, have faced some significant challenges this season, particularly in their defensive backfield. And that's what makes the latest development so intriguing, because it signals a potential shift, a move that could elevate their defense and shape their fortunes for the seasons to come. First, let us set the stage. The Browns' secondary has always been a critical component of their defense, especially with the rising importance of pass coverage in today's NFL. Last season, Cleveland's defense was anchored by cornerback Martin Emerson Jr., a player who has shown a lot of promise, but unfortunately suffered an injury that will keep him out for the remainder of the season. Losing Emerson is a blow, no doubt about it, because he has been a reliable presence on the outside, capable of locking down some of the league's premier receivers. His injury leaves a void that must be filled if the Browns want to maintain their defensive integrity and continue to challenge in the AFC North. But beyond Emerson, the talent pool at safety has left much to be desired. While Grant Delpit has shown flashes of brilliance, consistency has been an issue at times, and Ronnie Hickman, an undrafted free agent from 2023, has been fighting tooth and nail to cement his spot as a starter. The depth chart at safety isn't exactly overflowing with proven talent, and that's where recent news regarding a certain player comes into focus: Shilo Sanders. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Shilo Sanders? The name might ring a bell because he is the son of the legendary Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famer, a player renowned for his coverage skills, his speed, and his football IQ. But Shilo is not just riding on that legacy. He is a talented player in his own right. And here's the interesting part. He was just waived by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers following an incident during a preseason game where he threw a punch after a tough play against the Bills. Not exactly the best way to make a first impression, right? But if you look beyond that moment, you see a player with potential, a player who could fit perfectly into the Browns' defensive scheme. Scott DiBenedetto from Pro Football Network laid out a compelling argument that Cleveland should consider bringing Shilo Sanders into the fold. And it's not just because of his famous last name, but because of his on-field qualities. Sanders, in his final season at Colorado, registered an impressive 67 tackles. That's not just a number. It's a testament to his tackling ability, his physicality, and his readiness to impact the game. He is a stout tackler, a hard hitter who has shown the ability to make plays all over the field. 2 years ago at Colorado, he even racked up 4 forced fumbles thanks to his aggressive style of play. That kind of physicality is exactly what the Browns need in their secondary, a player who can bring that extra edge and toughness. Of course, coverage skills are essential for a safety, and that's an area where Sanders could improve. But remember, football is a team sport, and a player's contribution isn't solely measured by coverage. His tackling, his ability to read plays, and his knack for creating turnovers are equally valuable assets. And when you think about the Browns' current roster, it is clear that they are looking to add versatile, impactful players who can step in and make a difference. With the team's safety room led by Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman, they have some solid pieces, but depth and competition are key to pushing everyone to perform at their best. Now, it is worth mentioning that Cleveland has already experienced a fair share of media attention lately, especially because of the connection to Deion Sanders, one of the most charismatic and high-profile figures in football today. The Browns' decision to draft Shilo Sanders, Deion's son, back in April was a bold move, and it has generated a lot of buzz. Some fans wondered if bringing in another Sanders Shilo would be too much, or if it might create some distraction. But honestly, the Browns seem to be more focused on what players bring to the table than on the hype or the headlines. They're rebuilding a team that is hungry, competitive, and ready to prove itself. Looking at Shilo's game, he is a player whose coverage skills could definitely use some refinement. But don't overlook his physical attributes and his aggressive style traits that NFL teams highly value, especially for safety positions. He is a player who plays with passion and intensity, And that's exactly what a team like Cleveland needs to bolster its secondary. Last season at Colorado, he proved he could be a difference maker, and his time at South Carolina and Jackson State adds to his experience and versatility. From a strategic standpoint, bringing Sanders into Cleveland could be a smart move. The Browns' coaching staff has shown a willingness to develop young talent and mold players into key contributors. And with the right coaching, Sanders could elevate his game, especially in coverage. But more than that, his physicality and tackling ability could help the Browns improve their run support and create more turnovers, which are critical in close games. And let us not forget the potential narrative. Having a Sanders, especially one with a football pedigree, on the roster could ignite even more media attention and fan engagement. It's a storyline that's already capturing interest, and if Sanders can perform well on the field, it could add a new chapter to the Browns' evolving identity. The team has been steadily climbing back into playoff contention, and adding a player like Sanders could be the spark that takes their defense from good to great. Now, what's next for Cleveland? Well, it's all about timing and opportunity. The NFL roster is always in flux, and teams are constantly evaluating players, looking for that extra spark. The Browns, with their current injuries and depth concerns, could very well see the value in giving Sanders a shot. It's a move that makes sense from a football perspective, and it fits their desire to build a tough, versatile defense. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, and the decision to sign Shilo Sanders will depend on many factors: his performance in practices, how he fits into the team's culture, and whether he can demonstrate the right attitude and work ethic. But if there's one thing about Cleveland fans, it's that they love a good story, especially when it involves players working hard and overcoming adversity to make an impact. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential addition? Do you see Shilo Sanders fitting into the Browns' defensive scheme? Are you excited about the idea of adding another Sanders to the roster, or do you think the team should focus elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come for our team. Remember, this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and the Browns are right in the thick of things. With key players returning from injury, new signings, and a renewed focus on defense, Cleveland is positioning itself to make a serious playoff run. And moves like potentially adding Shilo Sanders could be exactly what they need to take that next step. So keep your eyes peeled, Browns fans, because the upcoming weeks could bring some surprises, and I'll be here to break it all down for you. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, stay passionate, stay loyal, and let us go Browns.